Coming up, the Astros and Padres homer their way to victories. This is Locked On Game to Game MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you so much for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On MLB on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. We've got our Locked On MLB host here to take us through these playoff games from last night. Home runs led the Houston Astros past the New York Yankees in Game 1 of the ALCS. Locked On Astros tells you more from Houston, while our Locked On Yankees host has questions for the New York skipper after the loss.
Sean Wheelhouse here with Locked On Astros. The Astros won a big game 4-2 against the New York Yankees. They get 3 big home runs. Pena, McCormick, and Yuli all go deep. Justin Verlander with 11 strikeouts on the game. He is now the postseason leader for strikeouts. Houston Astros take a commanding 1-0 lead over a tired Yankees team. Despite a home run late and a home run early, solo shots by Bader and Rizzo, the Astros overcome the Yankees, and there is no surge coming from New York. Stay tuned in to Locked On Astros. Remember, we're your team every single day. That's right, man. That's right. Let's go. Let's go.
This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and the Yankees dropped Game 1 of the ALCS to the Houston Astros 4-2. Can someone explain to me why Aaron Boone is managing this game as if it were a random Sunday in June and not using his best relievers when the game is tied 1-1 in the 6th inning? I need someone to explain this to me. Why was he managing as if he were waiting for Game 2 to use his better relievers? And why would you only use Lou Trevino for so few pitches? You leave Tyone in too long. You leave Clark Schmidt in too long. You don't leave Trevino in long enough. You bring in Frankie Montas, who's a starter, then gives up a home run right away. And he hasn't pitched in a while. I don't understand. Someone needs to explain this to me. Maybe I'm not a smart person and I'm not understanding baseball, but I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is Aaron Boone doesn't know how to manage a bullpen. All 3 losses that the Yankees have suffered in the playoffs have been because he can't manage the bullpen correctly. We'll have a full recap of this on the next Locked On Yankees, and we'll have a preview of Game 2. Hopefully, the better relievers will be used in Game 2.
The Phillies had a chance to win both of the first 2 games of this series on the road against the Padres, but instead, Philly blew an early 4-run lead to let San Diego tie the series 1-1. Locked On Phillies recaps as the series now moves to Philadelphia.
Well, the Philadelphia Phillies squander a major opportunity in Game 2. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies. When you get a 4-0 lead with Aaron Nola on the mound, who's arguably been your best pitcher this year, you have to take advantage. Here's the upside. Going into the San Diego stretch, the 2 games out there at Petco Park, you just say, get here with a split. Get back to Philadelphia with a split, win one of the 2 games, and you're happy. And that's still true, but how you get there matters. When you have a 4-0 lead with your best pitcher on the mound, you expect to win that game, and you expect to come back 2-0. The Phillies squandered an opportunity tonight. Now, they did it in the NLDS too, losing Game 2 against the Braves with a great Zach Wheeler start. You saw them bounce back at home and win 2 and close out the series. So hopefully they can do that same thing again. But tonight, the road got tougher, and the bottom of the order has to be better. The bullpen has to be better. The starters have to be better. A lot of stuff has to be better the rest of the way. We'll see if the Phillies can pull it off. I'll give you a lot more on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Phillies.
That's all for today on Locked On Game to Game MLB. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you subscribe to Locked On MLB and your team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.